Hey, what is up guys? DRC3 here, back with another My Hero Ultra Impact video, and today we are finally going to be doing an SRVE Tower tier list, and I know a lot of people have been waiting for this video. It has been a good amount of time since I've ranked the SR characters, mainly just because there are so many SR characters, and it's really hard to kind of get a feel for which SR characters are good overall for VE Tower, because VE Tower is just so varied, right? There's some VE Towers where you have 6 turn clears, some where you have 5, some where you have 4, and somewhere you have 3, so it's hard to like say which SRs are good across the board for VE Tower, but I'm gonna do my best. And I got a little bit of help from the Discord, so this is not only my opinion but the opinion of some of the top ranking VE Tower players, so hopefully this will help you guys out in figuring out what units you want to invest in and which units are good. I have gone ahead and already placed most of the units. These are the units that have been in the game up till now. I did rework my tier list system, so this is a little bit different than you would have seen in previous videos. So this is a whole new tier list system, so go ahead and take a minute, pause the video, look through the characters that are already there, and I will explain all the new characters as we place them. So the very first character we're going to be placing is the new Purple Endeavor. Now this guy has pretty good cooldowns, he has status elements, and he has built-in crit, and so for all those things, cooldowns is like major when it comes to VE Tower. Because he has good cooldown, status elements, and built-in crit, he is going to end up in A tier. This Purple Endeavor is actually very good in VE Tower. He'll be good in most VE Towers, and so you do want to invest in this character if you can get him. The next character we're going to be placing is Purple Gran Torino. This guy is while he was a free-to-play character, right, and you could probably get him to level 120, he is the like literal one of the worst characters here that we have to place out of the new characters for VE Tower, because he reduces your own crit and he has no status elements, and reducing crit is just so detrimental in VE Tower. You can't run a character that's basically never gonna get a crit. That's what his kit is to never get a crit. So because that, we're gonna actually put Purple Gran Torino down here in F tier. Don't touch this character, don't invest in him for VE Tower. He's not gonna be good and he's not gonna be useful. The next character we're gonna be placing is the new Red Ida. This guy was a free to play as well. He has one bad cooldown on an action skill, a 6-turn cooldown, and that kind of really messes him up, and he also lacks status elements, but he does have the additional attack, right? And him having the additional attack gives him 2 normal attacks, which is good, and that helps save him a little bit. That's kind of his saving grace, but because he does have that one bad cooldown and he lacks status elements, we're going to put him into C tier, where he could be used in rare cases, but I don't think you're going to be seeing a whole lot of him in VE Tower, especially when there's just, you know, better options, especially when it comes to double attack. You don't need a character like this that has double attack and a 6-turn cooldown anymore. We have memories. There's a new SR memory coming out on the banner for the Shiketsu High students that gives you double attack, so like this character is just really not going to be needed a whole lot. The next character we're going to be placing is Yellow Aizawa. Yellow Aizawa, like, he's kind of just someone that I think most people forget about. Like, he kind of went under the radar, but so this guy, he has decent cooldowns. They're not great. He has a 5-turn cooldown and a 4-turn cooldown on his action skills. The problem with him is he has a low chance on one of his status elements to land, and he lacks technical hits, and Aizawa that lacks technical hits is just weird and unusual. And so because he's got those cooldown problems and he lacks technical hits, we're going to put him into C tier as well. He does have decent status elements, but that's really all he has going for him. He does do a little bit of crit for pro heroes, but like he's just not a super great character overall. So we're going to put him in C tier because he could potentially find some uses in VE Tower, but I don't think you're going to see a ton of use out of this character. The next character we're placing is the Green Deku, and if I could, I would put this character in F tier, guys, but that's not fair to him. I just really don't like his cat. I don't like how he hurts himself. He's kind of a meme character to me. I said it when he came out. I'm still saying it. He's a meme character, but basically he hurts himself, and because he hurts himself so much and because he's so frail as an SR character, he can die really easily, even in VE Tower. And so because of that, it makes him a little bit too hard to work around with other units, but his saving grace is that he does have triple technical hits, and so because he has triple technical hits, we're actually going to put him all the way up here in C tier, where you could still see some uses out of him. Personally, I just probably wouldn't use him a whole lot because he is so frail and kind of hard to work around. You'll need a very specific team to be able to use that Deku. The next character we're going to be placing is the new blue Denki Kaminari. This guy, I really like this character's kit. He has status elements, he has plus ultra gauge raise, he has 3 technical hits, and he has good cooldowns. Like, he's really good. And I believe if you get his EX skill, because he was a free-to-play character, you get Pierce as well, which could help you like on the VE tower with barriers. So he has decent EX skills as well for his special character unique EX skill. So this Denki Kaminari is actually really good. And so blue Denki Kaminari is going to end up all the way up here in A tier next to Endeavor. So hopefully you guys worked on this character when he was an event character. The next character we're going to be placing is the Heroes Assemble All Might, also an event character, and this guy is actually fairly decent as an event character. I'm not going to lie to you guys. He has increased crit and plus ultra gauge, and he also has a 3-turn cooldown on one of his action skills. His other action skill isn't super great, but the fact that you have an SR with a 3-turn cooldown really makes up for it. Like, 3-turn cooldowns are so valuable in VE Tower, and so for that reason we're also going to be putting this All Might up here in A tier as well. I think he's going to find a lot of uses because of that fact that he does have a 3-turn cooldown. He does have the increased crit rate, and any character that increases their own plus ultra gauge as well with a 3-turn cooldown is very valuable in VE Tower. The next character we're placing is the new Yellow Endeavor, at least new to us, and so he is going to actually be going into C tier. I'll tell you that before we even place him. Now, why is he going to be going into C tier? He is going into C tier because he lacks crit and he only has 1 damaging action skill. And the other problem with him is that he does have technicals and he does have status elements. He has 1 technical and 1 status element, but they're on separate action skills. And so that's kind of a problem because it just makes it harder to get your technicals and status elements. It's better when your technical and your status element are on the same action skill, or at least if you have like a technical and a plus ultra gauge raise on the same action skill, it makes the character better. But because his technical and his status element are on 2 separate action skills, it makes them a little bit harder to use. So I don't think you're going to see this Yellow Endeavor used like nearly as much as the Purple Endeavor up here, who is, you know, this one's summonable, this one's free, and it makes sense that this one is down here in C tier. But at the same time, these 2 characters, the Denki Kaminari and the All Might, are free and they're up here in A tier. So hopefully you guys got these free characters while they were available. The next character we're going to be placing is Green Kirishima, another summonable character. And so this guy, very interesting. He would be a great tank if this was UR. His kit is so cool. It would be good for a UR character, but he's an SR, and so he has SR stats, and that automatically just makes him not very good. He's a great tank though as an SR character, probably one of the best SR tanks. But the problem is for VE Tower, he lacks anything remotely useful for VE Tower, so we're actually going to be placing this guy down here in F tier. He is not very good. He's hot garbage when it comes to VE Tower, so he's gonna get rest down there with Gran Torino in F tier. The next character we're gonna be placing is Blue Momo. This is another free-to-play character that we just recently got on Global. Used to be a JP exclusive character. So she has a 5-turn cooldown and a 4-turn cooldown action skill respectively, and then 1 action skill does technical plus ultra raise and a status element all in one, and then the other action skill does like nothing, and it's not very useful. And then here's the other problem with her, neither action skill does damage. This is like the only character I believe in game that just doesn't have a damaging action skill, which is kind of crazy, and that's not gonna like fly in VE Tower, so we're gonna put her in D tier. You could potentially use her if your other 2 characters are doing enough damage. You would need like Purple Bakugo and I don't know who else, maybe the new Vigilante Deku to run alongside her, and then maybe you can make use of her, but you'll pretty much never see her used. If somebody can get a top scoring VE Tower team with this Momo, I'd be impressed. You know, there's a challenge for you guys. If anyone does it, you know, I would love to see it. That would be very impressive. The next character we're going to be placing is the New Year's Purple Ida, and this guy is interesting because he has like not very good cooldowns. He has no status elements, he has no crits, but what he does have is he has evasion. And when he has evasion, he lowers his action skill cooldown time by 1. But if that evasion gets taken away because he gets attacked, then you don't lower your action skill cooldown time. So that's kind of touchy, and that messes with his kit a lot. And then he also does have a additional attack, which kind of saves him. But other than that, he's just not he's not great, right? So for that reason, we're going to put him down here in D tier. I don't think you'll see him used a whole lot in VE Tower as well. However, in Climax Battle against Gentle Criminal, when I ran an all Ida team, he actually worked out really well because of his evasion and because of what he can do. So in Climax Battle, that SR Ida actually has a use. So hopefully that makes you feel a little bit better if you do have him. And then we have Green Najire next to talk about. She has great plus ultra gauge raise, like amazing plus ultra gauge raise for herself. She gives some plus ultra gauge raise to the team, but other than that, she doesn't really have a single thing that is useful for VE Tower. She lacks technicals, crits, status elements. She doesn't have additional attacks or any of that other stuff. And so for that reason, she's going to rest here in D tier right next to her good buddy Ida. And then the next character we're going to be placing is the new Red Ochako Uraraka. And so this character, I said from the time I saw her that I really liked her kit. I thought she was going to be good. She came out alongside Vigilante Deku. So of course, when you have a Vigilante Deku coming out, you have to make the SR somewhat hype, you know? And so this character is actually really good. She has good cooldowns. She lowers allies cooldowns, one of the few SRs to actually do that. So really, really good. That's amazing. And she has great technical hits, and she lacks status elements and crits, but because she does have the lowering of allies cooldown, she lowers her own cooldowns. She has good technicals. Because of all those things, we're actually going to put her up here in A tier because she's just going to be solid as an overall character, and you can run her alongside other characters that give crit and that give status elements. So even though she lacks status elements and crits, she has everything else you would want in a character, so she's actually fairly decent overall. The last character we have to place is the new Red Yayurozu. Red Yayurozu is interesting. This is probably, I saved her for last because she's probably one of the most interesting characters who could be like, I feel like she could be A tier or she could be like all the way down to D tier. It just depends on who you're running on the team with her. So her kit requires a red team. She boosts the red team a lot if she has a red team. Or if there are green opponents, it also boosts your team as well. Otherwise, she's not very good because all of her like status elements, her technicals, everything that she has on her, anything that would make her good for VE Tower, she increases crit rate, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think she increases crit rate, but it's only for red characters, for example. And so that kind of limits you in the team you have to run, and you have to basically run an all red team with this Yayurozu for her to be good. So if you found an all red team that worked for you, and you were going against a green opponent in VE Tower, so that's pretty specific, right? Then she could be very, very good. But because there's such like strict requirements on her use, I'm gonna put her in C tier right now, just because I don't think you're gonna see a lot of use for her. I think there will be the rare occasion where we might see her used, but as far as I can tell, I don't think any like real top scoring VE Tower teams are gonna use her a whole lot. But overall, she's not a terrible character, right? She's interesting, and yeah. Lastly, we are done ranking the to be determined characters. We have some JP exclusive characters here. I'm not going to rank these characters right now because I haven't got the personal chance to use them on global. I don't have a JP account, and also most of you guys are probably global players, so you can't use these characters anyways. But as they come out on global, because they are slowly releasing these characters, I will add them into the tier list. Anyways, guys, that is the new SR VE Tower tier list. If you guys enjoyed the video, please go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Please, I am trying to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If you have already subscribed, I just want to give a massive shout out to everybody that has and say thank you. I appreciate you all, like genuinely, I really, really do. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel, and leave me some comments about what you guys thought about this tier list. If you agree or disagree with any of my decisions, my comments, what I said, you know, everybody's opinion is welcome down in the comments. And thank you guys for watching. Peace.